there was a lot of unknown, wondering why we were practicing, if we were practicing, if we were going to play, and then all the controversy going on throughout the country. So I thought they did a good job of going out and working hard. And, we cut back all our evening meetings and walkthroughs and things like that just because there was a lot of unknown. But yeah, I think they were excited to hear that the Oklahoma game was on and that we're working to get 2 other games. And, I thought the last 2 days it's been more intense and we've made improvement.
Yeah, Coach, what kind of is it like right now with, I mean, you're not gearing up for a full schedule right now in the fall. Is it kind of like an extended spring with some games that matter? Just kind of how's the approach right now? Because, I mean, no one's been through this before.
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't seem like spring, because there is a purpose in it. And we've tried to go through what our routine will be for fall camp and in future fall camps. And, if this was the original schedule to open September 12th, then today would have been our first day of practice. So we've had actually 6 other practices, although 3 of them were short and sweet and off the field quickly. So I feel like now we get started in how you would prepare for a game 4 weeks out.
Well, Coach, I mean, I'll go. Just the news of having the Oklahoma game just it seemed like in the moment when they tweeted out the video of you guys kind of telling the players, there seemed to be a pretty big abundance of excitement amongst the team. I imagine that was kind of a weight off the shoulders for them and for you to have a game for certain that you guys can prepare for.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. Like I said earlier, we were practicing early in the week, and when I would talk to players, ask them, the number one concern was, we just want to know if we're going to be playing. We just want to know what the schedule is. So the anxiety of, are we just practicing for the good of it, or is there something sitting out there for us? And everybody wants to compete. I think that's the biggest thing, is they want to be able to know a schedule, how to get prepared and get ready to go out and compete. So when we did find out that we were playing Oklahoma, I think everybody was excited. I know Kyle's working on hopefully getting us 2 other games, and hopefully we'll be able to know something about that here in the near future. And I think that would be, something our players are really looking forward to. I feel like, it gets us better for when we get to spring, that we're able to go through game preparation, how you prepare on Monday, how you prepare Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, how you travel. All of that will pay off definitely when we play a spring schedule.
Just was impressed with some of the offensive stuff you guys did. A couple throws by Jaden there, yards down the field to a guy that just this receiver could get it. Just what has kind of impressed you about him so far?
Yeah, Jaden, sometimes I forget that he's just a freshman to us, and we've given him a lot of offense. He does a great job of absorbing it and studying it and, really trying to know everything and everyone's position. And eventually he's going to be really, really good. And he can really throw it. I think the timing continues to get better. I like our receivers. I think they've gotten really more understanding of where we want them and when we want them in position. And Jaden's, with his drops and sets and accuracy, continues to get better on a daily basis. And I think that, he has a chance to be real good. Jake Van Dyne, who wasn't out there today because he had a stomach issue, so he wasn't able to get out there today. I think everything's all right, but he's really had a good week too. So then those 2 guys have been taking the majority of the reps. And Jock Carter was out there today, and he can really run and do some of the things that you like to do in the option game. And I was impressed with his quickness and ability to get on the edge.
Name a starter yet?
What's that?
Starter yet?
Oh no, we don't need to name a starter. We got 4 weeks to go.
You know, ask.
With the spring games, do you have any concern about doing a spring schedule with the conference and then having to come back and play a regular schedule in 21 in the fall?
Well, I think the key on that is the time that we give them off in the summer and making sure that's really what it's going to change is if we're going to play a spring schedule, then they're going to need a recovery time. So the time that they're going to get off in June and July needs to be different. And, because they have to recover, they have to be able to get in the weight room and get their body ready to go play another season. It'll be unprecedented. Nobody's ever done it before. So certainly there's concerns about it. But I think if you do it smart, and then I've even seen some models about, how you practice in the fall next year with maybe an extra day off, as you start the season and as you start your camp, and just giving them more time to recover and more time to prepare, and probably less contact. I think you would see less contact in practice in your fall practices.
Coach, 2 weeks in speaking with your assistant coaches and without the spring or the summer, are the Bears where you expect them to be right now? Are they a little ahead, a little behind? And also, has there been a decision about maybe that scrimmage now that the game has been set for the 12th?
Yeah, I think we're working on that schedule of when to really scrimmage. I'll probably do it Thursday night, maybe this week coming up. We certainly weren't ready to do it on Saturday. We had set a deal way back. I don't know how long ago it was, that if we were playing on the 29th, that I would have a scrimmage this Saturday, which would make sense, to have it. What I like to do is have 2 real good scrimmages and then one, what we call a mock game, where it is scrimmage, but you go through different situations and it's more of a situational scrimmage, and you try to hit everything that could possibly come up in a game. So it doesn't flow like a game, but you do get some live work in it. So we'll try to do that. I think our first one will try to be on Thursday. If everything stays as it is, and we can, get our good practices in on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Just to make sure we've got it, that scrimmage would be closed to the public, correct? No plans to have fans allowed into it?
Yeah, initially there was like, let's have it open because the kids were coming back for school. But what I did find out yesterday was I don't think that the stadium is open for fans yet. But we can find out about that and clarify it. I'd love to have people there in the stadium. It'd be fun. I think it'd be good for our players.
Was that Keyshawn Parker at fullback today for you guys?
Yeah. When we recruited him, I had many conversations with him about, what did he play in high school? Has he ever played fullback? And he told me he can really run with the football and catch the ball. And when he came in here, he was doing a really good job on defense, but we felt like that we needed him as a fullback / running back. I think he'll add a lot to us. He's got great quickness through the hole. He's physical. He can lead block for us. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. And he told me today when we were leaving the field, just give me the ball, coach, I'll score. So I guess we'll try giving him the ball a few more times. But he did look really good today when he touched the ball. He made a really nice cut and acceleration, and he can catch the ball out of the backfield. That's one of the hard things in recruiting anymore, is to find that fullback position. And we have had success moving guys from linebacker, defensive line to fullback in years past. And when we watched his video, his junior college video, that actually was one of the first thoughts that came to my mind was, well, if we don't need him at linebacker, he would be a great fullback.
Obviously, it's not ideal to play in the spring, but have you guys, talked about any silver lining to playing a season in the spring?
Well, I think just to get to know the conference would be great for us, as a staff, and, our players to really see where we're at, measure where we're at. Obviously, it's the toughest conference in in the country and at our division. So I think it'll be exciting for us. Be interesting to see how it all works out, you know, and what the weather's like. And I know this year over February and early March, we would probably be playing a few games in the snow. It seemed like every time we had a more early morning conditioning workout, it was the worst weather of the week. So whether it was snowing or downpour rain or the wind was blowing really hard. So maybe it was preparing us knowing that we were going to play this spring.
Coach, do you have any kind of preference on when this spring season is going to be? I mean, are you thinking February, March, April? Are you thinking April, May, June? I mean, what would you rather have as a coach?
Yeah, I don't think they really care what my preference is, but I think what's going to happen is you try to play maybe your first game like that last weekend in February, maybe the 1st of March, play 8 straight weeks, and then go to the playoffs. And I think they're talking about maybe getting it over with at somewhere I heard May 15th or the weekend after May 15th. And I don't even know if that's a Saturday. I haven't looked at a calendar yet, but I think it's somewhere in that time frame, which also means that you would be starting practice, you know, late January. So it'll be interesting to see how it's all going to work out. And we probably will have a few days of practice in the snow.
Taylor was mentioning silver linings to the season being pushed back. I'm wondering about, and I know you can't comment specifically on recruiting, but for your coaches to get out to the high schools that are practicing and playing in the fall, is this going to help, especially for a first-year coaching staff here at Missouri State, to be able to get out to these high schools, maybe even spread the footprint out maybe a little bit for Missouri State and recruit?
Yeah, I think it will help us evaluate. You know, what you're able to do in the fall is to go evaluate. You can't really meet with the players or talk to the players or their family or anything like that, but we do get to go watch them in person, which always gives you a better evaluation than on video. So we'll have to work that around, you know, hopefully the 3 games that we have and how we practice, but it'd be great to get out and watch, you know, high school games. And that's something high schools can play and college can't. Yeah, but it'd be great for us to get out and watch high school games and see people in person and watch quarterbacks throw the ball. And, you know, I think that's one of the things I've always liked is to see a quarterback throw it live in person because it's so much different than on video.
Coach, I know last time we talked, you had said that you were delaying the process of letting the players vote on captains for the team just to give them more of a chance because of everything that's gone on. I was just curious if they've held that vote now and who the captains are if they had.
No, not yet. I think what I'll do is go through 2 more weeks of practice and then vote on it and let them be around each other. And you always have kind of an idea who you think they're going to, you know, elect or who they're going to vote for. And then they always kind of surprise you a little bit too. The assistant coaches also have votes on it. So we want everybody's input and see who the leaders are going to be. But I think we've got some guys that are doing a great job of leading and really, you know, helping us prepare everyone to practice hard and doing a good job with, you know, giving us some fire and some hustle out in practice. And we'll see. I'd be surprised if we didn't kind of know who the captains are going to be.
Saw Anthony Payne out there with some of the first unit. Just what has he kind of impressed about you? I know that's somebody that you looked into back at Louisville.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony has he's actually had a great summer. He's gotten bigger and stronger and worked hard on his speed and change of direction. He does a really nice job of rushing the passer and plays hard every single play. I know our coaches really like the way he goes about his business in the meeting room and on the practice field. I think we'll know a lot more about those rushers when we have a live scrimmage. And, you know, it's kind of controlled right now, and they have to do a good job of working hard on their rush, but knowing to pull off of the quarterback because you don't want to hit a quarterback's hand or go down the middle of them. And they've done a nice job of that. So I think we'll have some good edge rushers between him and Isaiah and Ellis. I think the 3 of them. And then some of the linebackers and safeties have shown the ability to blitz and rush off the edge. So I think that's somewhere what could be a strength for our defense.
Saw Armand Wallace out there too. That seems to be a pretty good gift that the previous coaching staff left for you and recruiting this past December.
Yeah, definitely. Armand's a really good player, very, very smart. He picks things up quickly. He's got really good twitch for playing inside, and he does a nice job. I think before it's over with, he's going to be a really, really good player. And then also Tolliver, he's another guy that they had signed when we come in that has a lot of talent and, can probably play inside as a defensive lineman, but also on the edge. And I tell our defensive coaches every day, he looks kind of like an NFL offensive tackle. So you better make sure you keep him playing over there on defense, or I'm going to steal him.
It just seems the overall size across the roster. I mean, when you look at last year's rosters weights, and then you look at this year's rosters weights, even the guys that are returning, seems like it's up across the board, and that's just something you've emphasized. And they were still able to do that despite not really having a weight room for all of them throughout all this.
Yeah, I think they did a good job of, I know it was hard and lonely, and but our strength and conditioning coach, Dave Casiglio, did a really nice job of being in touch with them every day, giving them different ways to work out. Like some guys had some accessibility to weights and weight rooms, but guys that didn't, he had them loading their backpacks and doing, squats with backpacks on and lifting different ways and doing certain box jumps and things that would, help them be ready to come in. And to be honest with you, we did one of our big runs a week ago on a Saturday morning, and I was very, very surprised how good a condition we were in. I thought we would have some guys really dragging and hurting and maybe not make their times, but they really did a nice job of it, and I think that's a real credit to Dave. He did a great job being in touch with them and working hard all summer long.
Coach, it looked like some of the players out there had the new masks that you had said had been ordered before. I was just curious kind of how they're taking to that. Clearly you're excited about it. Just how's that kind of helped improve practices for you guys?
Yeah, actually they just got in here yesterday afternoon, and our equipment staff and our graduate assistants changed them all off from the plastic mask to those cloth masks that actually go inside of the face mask. And they did it. The players like them better. There's no question about that. And, I think that's a real credit to the conference and the communication within the conference. And, North Dakota State was the one that told all the other head coaches about them. We got them ordered right away, and they just got in yesterday. So I really think that that'll help. And I know our players feel good about it.
How have your first few months of working with Kyle Mote's been like? I mean, you have the constant communication with him throughout all this, and it seemed like he really worked his butt off to try to keep that Oklahoma game for you guys, and is still doing work to get you more games right now.
Yeah, Kyle's got to be exhausted because this has really been, I know how hard he's worked for us and how hard he's worked for our players, and everything that we do has our student athletes in mind. But their safety is number one, and then getting ready for school and how we're going to deal with that, how we're going to practice, how we're going to deal with each facility. So I'm sure he hasn't slept a lot, but he's certainly done an unbelievable job. And his communication has been great with me and our players, and we really appreciate that. There's no question about it.
Well, Coach, obviously he's trying to get you a home game, maybe at homecoming October sometime. Just your thoughts on being able to maybe play one of these fall games at home when they announce that, just to do that, maybe your home debut, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. I'm hoping that we can get it to work out, and that would be a great weekend for us. We initially were kind of looking at the 10th, but we actually have fall break on that Thursday and Friday of the 10th. So the 17th would actually work great for us if we could get a home game, and then it just happens to to be the exact weekend for homecoming. So that actually ends up being even better than the 10th.